Hey guys, so today I'll give a overview of all my class perks. And first off, we have the Gunslinger class, and this is potentially the one of the better builds or stronger builds that the Gunslinger class has. For the first column, you can go Impact Nades or Special Mag. Impact Nades to kill off specials quickly, and then you can have Special Mag for the extra pen for hot clearance. And then the main perks will be the frontline supply, concentration, and hit hunter reward. So with headshots, you'll be able to get ammo return, get temp health, as well as your grenades back. So you can either go for the combat shotgun and PDW combo, or you can go for the AK and the secondary shorty combination. This shotgun, tier 2 shotgun and secondary PDW combo is stronger, because the tier 2 shotgun shreds horde much faster than the AK, because you have multiple pellets and you have a higher weapon penetration. PDW is better than the compact shorty because of the ghost perk. Essentially gives you a get out of jail free card. And we have the new solid all out perk, which gives you explosive secondary ammo, so you can set this up, and this allows you to deal with specials very quickly. So you'll be using your combat shotgun for hots, and then once you see Juggernaut, Bulls or Infector spawns, you will switch out your primary to your secondary, and with this explosive ammo plus the switcheroo perk in the final column, which gives you 50% more damage, you can clear the specials very quickly. And in this column, you can go for deep pockets if you're playing within the squad, but because I do solo runs quite often, I like free refill, just to give me my ammo back, because you don't always have easy access to ammo crates. So this is, so usually if I'm doing a solo run with dead bots, this is the build that I go for. If I find that the horde is pretty big and sometimes not easily manageable, I will go for Special Mag just to increase my horde clearance ability. Otherwise, Impact Nades is always the safer option, because explosive ammo has 0 weapon pen, so sometimes if a Bull or Juggernaut spawns within a bunch of zombies, your explosive ammo won't be able to hit them, and that's where Impact Nades comes in. Yeah, so that's for Gunslinger. Another fun build that you can play is Sleight of Hand with switcheroo. So this is where you swap weapons really quickly, and then while reloading you can swap between your AK and your compact shorty to proc the switcheroo perk. And next up we have Hellraiser. So this is the special killer build that I have in a separate video, so I'll put the link in the description so you guys can have a look as well. Essentially we have here Kitty. Attracting zombies is probably the best option here, because it helps you. You can use it to save a teammate or just to get yourself out of trouble. Impact MGL makes it easier to land your shots. We go with Directed Blast to increase our explosive damage. So Directed Blast and Bounty Hunter plus Heavy Rain will allow your MGL to one-shot Bulls and Infectors, and two-shot Juggernauts. You can also one-shot Juggernaut plus a couple of shots from your firearm to kill the Juggernaut as well if you want to save your MGL shots. And then to kind of make this build even better, we have deep pockets, so you have even more MGL ammo and also free refill tree, so when you kill a special you get a chance to spawn MGLs. So this so essentially it's kind of like a special killer build where you are focused on killing specials, and while killing specials you get a chance to spawn more MGLs, and then you can also spare some MGLs into pyramids or swarms, since it is pretty effective for those as well. Usually I'll go for I'll Take That, because I'll mainly be using C4s when specials are around and they're getting close to me. But of course, Pickpocket is also a good alternative, depending. It's kind of up to you for this one. And for the last column, we go with Job Satisfaction, just for the temp health to give you kind of like to give you protect you from any hits that you take. So it's always good to have. The other options are not that attractive as compared to this. So this is the special killer build that I have here. But of course, there are also other ways to play Hellraiser. For example, you can go for this Thumper build, where you are using a Thumper instead of the improved MGL. And in that case, if you still want to one-shot specials, bulls and infectors in particular, you have to use the Predator perk to give you the extra 50% damage boost that you're lacking. So this will require some setting up to do, where you have to kill zombies with explosives first, either with your Thumper, the MGR, or the C4. But otherwise, in general, it works the same way. And in this case, you don't really need the free refill tree because you're not relying on your MGL mainly. Though with the setup, you can still one-shot with MGLs. So either you can use third hand, or you can still keep to the free refill tree. It's kind of up to you here. But essentially, this is a special killer explosive build as well, but focusing with the Thumper as the main difference here. There's also the shotgun Hellraiser build that you can use. In this case, because we don't have any explosive damage, we are not using Director Blast or Bounty Hunter. We'll be using Fire Thumper instead, because Fire Thumper has a pushback, so it's also pretty good for crowd control. And in this case, we'll also be starting with the Tier 2 shotgun, which is really strong. And we can use Nimble Thumbs, which increases the reload speed, Third Hand, which instantly reloads it, as well as Hole Punch to increase the shotgun range. So in these two columns here, you don't necessarily need both, since both are sort of like reload related. So you can keep Nimble Thumbs, and then you can potentially use free refill if you like, just so you can get some ammo back with your shotgun. Because you are using Thumper, so having free refill might be a bit better for ammo, because Thumper uses up a lot of the ammo in your ammo crate, so free refill here might be a better option. But yeah, it's kind of up to you. You can play around with it, see what you like, but in general, I'd say the special killer build with the MGL is probably the easiest to use. Then next up we have the Medic class. So I have a video on the Medic guide as well, so you can have a look for a more in-depth description. But essentially, this is the setup that I like to use. The first one, sugar-coated, so when you heal someone when they are low, the temp health grants them, like a protective, allows them to take a few hits before they start to lose any actual health. I find that Candy is the better perk here, because when you revive someone, be it manual or using stims, you get a stim back as well, which is pretty useful. Big Pharma is my preferred one, so you have 4 stim charges and everyone in the teams gets 1 stim if shit hits the fence. I'm going with Wheatgrass here just for the additional hit they can take on extreme difficulty, mainly because the other perks are not very impactful. Combat Medic, and I'll take that, or Pickpocket. This 3 options, or this basically allows you to self-sustain, so you can get your med kits by yourself, you can get stims, replenish stims by yourself as well, so you're not as reliant on having med kits or supply bags around the map. In the zone is a good option here as well. When you stim someone, you get this 50% firearm damage, because when you we are using masking stim, so when you stim someone, you kind of redirect the zombie aggro to yourself or someone else, and then if the zombies are all coming to you, you have the extra firearm damage to deal with them as well. And one pretty useful perk is Lobotomy, because you start with the tier 1 or the tier 2 SMG if you like. So having Lobotomy improves your ammo efficiency and makes you kind of like half a gunslinger. Can wear down incoming hots fairly quickly, even with just a SMG. So, but if you're not comfortable with headshots, you can use the others. And next we have Fixer. So here we have the healing Fixer build. It's pretty straightforward. You definitely need Armory, which allows you to dupe, allows others to dupe your ammo bags for you, while they also get an equipment charge. And you need this 4th of July, so your supply bag can be used one more time. And then for the healing, you're using the 3-in-1. So the first use of the bag heals OD by 10%, but it reduces the number of users by 1. So now your supply bag can only be used 4 times. So you won't have 100% chance of duping. I assume it drops to 80% because you can only use it 4 times. So it is the healing build, but it doesn't guarantee a ammo box duping. So in some instances, you'll have to pick up supply bags or make use of your either pickpocket or scavenger to kill specials of 15 zombies to get your equipment back. And yeah. And for the rest of the other columns, you can go for this, give them hell. When you revive someone, you get explosive ammo, but I don't find it very necessary. So I just keep it to this auto turrets dealing more damage. It's also, yeah, so it's kind of up to you. This give them hell will work well with the revive perks on the third column as well. So because we are using healing ammo fixer, and our ammo boxes are not 100% dupable, I'm going with cheer up, which allows you to get an equipment charge when you revive a teammate. So basically, if you revive someone, you can put down another bag, and then both of you can make use of the explosive ammo as well as the extra 10% heal. So it may not seem like much, but you know, if someone keeps duping for you, you can actually keep the team fairly healthy during a defense, because you can keep duping and then you can keep healing the team up. And it has worked out pretty well in my experience. As for let's go to the rest of the column. In this one, my round 1 or Wheatgrass, they are pretty decent options. This column here, we just go for instant replay, so they get more primary ammunition back when they use the supply pack, because there's less users, so being able to restore more primary ammo can be quite useful. You can also use Almost Missed, where all the marked enemies get 10% increased damage. This will work well if there's like Gunslinger or Dronemaster around, which with the marking perk to mark the specials automatically. And for this column, Power Shot is definitely the best option here. This allows all semi-auto rifles to give you extra 2 pen, and essentially it's kind of like your DPS perk as a fixer. And it works with explosive ammo. So explosive ammo removes weapon penetration, and then this will give you an extra 2 pen on top of it. So you'll have explosive ammo and 2 weapon pen. Yeah, so this is how basically the healing ammo fixer setup, which is a build that I like to play lately. Especially if there are no medics around, so you can pick up the supply bags as well. Just to have more bags around to heal up the team slowly throughout the defense. And this is the build where you have the infinite duping. So instead of using the 3-in-1, I'm now using my round 2. You can either use my round 2 or the improved payload. For beginners, I'd say the payload is probably better. But once you're more familiar with the game, my round 2 is generally a better team perk. So any RPGs you find will have 2 shots, so that means extra 60 kills. Any multi-shot rocket launchers that you or anyone finds will have now 5 shots, so that's also extra 40 kills. A payload that you find will have 7 shots, whereas this improved payload will have 9 shots, so it's only 2 more shots. Yeah, essentially you can find a lot of heavies around anyway, so having the extra 10%, which is like 2-shot RPGs, will be pretty beneficial for the team, especially for maps with big swarms. But essentially, because you're not using this anymore, now your bags can be duped or used 5 times, which means your duping chance here is 100%. So yeah, and because we are not that reliant on having supplies anymore, I'm now changing this third column to paramedic. Essentially, you can revive someone very quickly. You can also go for cloakroom if you like. Revive someone gives both of you 3 seconds masking. But the issue is, if say you are getting chased by a bunch of zombies, you might not have the time to revive someone in that original speed. Whereas for paramedic, you still have the chance to revive someone instantly, and then after that like a melee pushback to push back all the zombies around you. Yeah, so both are decent options. It's kind of up to you. Both can work, but yeah. Oh, and then in this middle column here, usually pickpocket or scavenger. So with explosive ammo, you can kill specials very quickly. But if the map has pretty big hots, and this is also a decent option to have. I usually don't go for one for the road, just because I prefer to be self-sustainable, you know, being able to generate my own equipment, just in case there are no bags around. Especially if you are playing in public lobbies, you know, everybody may just pick up the supply bags, and being able to generate equipment, charge yourself is very important. And then the last one will be gas fixer build. And so for the first one, yeah, generally I just go for stand by me. Unless you find yourself putting a lot of auto turrets, you can go for this one. That works as well. And for the gas, yeah, Night Owl or side effects both are okay. Night Owl gives you a little bit of temp health that can absorb single hit, and maybe you lose a little bit of actual health. Side effect can kill zombies around you, assuming they come into the gas area. So yeah, both are okay options. It's kind of up to you. I generally go for Night Owl just for the temp health, because if you gas a team, usually they will just run away, create some distance, and then you can kill the zombies that are around the gas manually. That small bit of temp health, you know, can help you absorb a hit, so which is not too bad. Cheer Up is a pretty strong perk here. So for example, if a teammate goes down, you can throw a gas around the area or on the teammate, and then revive him, and then you get an equipment back. So basically you get like a free masking through that revive. So this is pretty strong and works really well with the gas fixer. The other perks are the same. We're using Under the Table here, which gives you 10% more primary ammo. Why not? If you don't think ammo is a big problem, you can also go for Almost Missed here for the extra special damage. Or even Go Get 'em if you really like, but I would say I'll just keep to Under the Table here. And for this 8th column, you can either Shadow Walker or Darkness Force. Generally I prefer Darkness Force because of the increased duration of 7 seconds, whereas Shadow Walker is only 2 seconds. So Darkness Force increases how long the cloud stays in the game, and essentially your other teammates get more time to run into the cloud to get the masking. And this Shadow Walker increases the duration. So once you get into the cloud and once you leave, the masking duration is increased by 2 seconds. Essentially, if you have Darkness Force, your total masking duration is longer. So this is in general the better option, and also, you know, teammates have more time to get to the gas cloud to get the masking effect. So this is Gas Fixer, and then we have Slasher, Rooted perk to counter boosters, which can kind of just spawn instantly in front of you, which is annoying. Clear, so now you can use your stun gun to save your teammates and NPCs, which is very, very useful. Nimble to take 50% less damage when performing melee attacks, so this is zombie hits as well as friendly fire. So this is better than Bullet Dodger, to be honest, because this is only from bullets and only while performing melee attacks. Whereas Nimble allows you to tank more zombie hits as well. So on extreme, you go down in 3 to 4 hits on PC. So with Nimble, it becomes 6 to 8 hits, which is pretty impactful, considering how melee is a little bit wonky, and you will get hit as a slasher as you try to melee zombies. And for this one, Weak Grasp, because I feel that your melee damage is already strong enough to kill specials quickly, so you don't really need this. So I would stick to Weak Grasp just for the additional health and tankiness. So this is with the baton, the medium baton, so I'm using Shock Therapy. So when you stun zombies, and then with the baton, and when you hit them again, you don't lose any melee stamina. There's a bug where you still lose melee stamina on the signature strike, but the first 2 swings you don't lose the stamina, so it still kind of works, yeah. And with the baton, we'll match it with the temp health to kind of give you, an additional layer of protection to tank zombie hits here. And then chainsaw, of course, is a must as slashers. Some people prefer battle cry, but personally speaking, I think once you get pinned and during the stand-up animation, you can still get hit and go down again. So I personally don't think this is worth having. Chainsaw feels very important because you need to do the melee chainsaw combo to actually deal with a big bunch of zombies. Melee by itself is usually not enough. Once you run out of stamina, you will get hit because yeah. So having chainsaw allows you to manage your melee stamina much better. And then for this one, you can go on one's own or Lone Shark. So if you're killing a lot of specials, Lone Shark will be good. Otherwise, I will just keep to on one's own, so you just get the equipment charge every 60 seconds. You don't need Pickpocket because this is also 60 seconds cooldown and you still need to kill 15 zombies. So on one's own is definitely the better option here. And you can still pick up bags if there's any lying around, so it is actually really good. As for the last column, yeah, I just go with Adrenaline, just so, just in case I get low. I will have to play a bit safer and not melee as much, so that's where the extra reload speed will be very useful. So this is with the baton. With the Tomahawk, which runs you temp health, you have the option to go masking if you like, because you can proc temp health with the Tomahawk to give you that bit of protection. And because you're using Tomahawk, shock therapy won't be as useful because you won't be spamming your stun guns to shock them anyway. So I would go for Bloodlust, just so if you kill a special zombie with your melee, the firearm damage boost will be useful for dealing with pyramids. So you can kind of time this right. Say if you see a Infector and a Juggernaut that spawned, you can use your melee to kill off the Infector quickly, and then with the special, with this firearm damage boost, you can use it to take down the Juggernaut quickly as well, through headshots, for example. Because now you can't stun Juggernauts with stun guns, so you have to rely on firearms for the Jugs. Yeah, so that's for Slasher. For Exterminator, we have this Claymore build over here, where we use Minefield to increase your number of Claymores you can have, and then Heavy Strike, which allows Claymores to explode twice. So this increases your number of Claymores you have, and the kill cap. And then one main perk is also Pocket Factory, so you get a Claymore back every 30 odd seconds. Which is pretty quick, so you can just keep planting without having to be reliant on bags. And yeah, as for the other perks, Rooted once again is pretty useful just to counter boosters who, can just kind of spawn in front of you. Multi-shot rocket launcher is better than the RPG because you have more shots, so you can kind of spread them around, and you get more total number of kills. So 4 shots will net you about I think 240 kills, 60 per shot, whereas RPG is just 100 kills in that one shot. So you'll get more total kills with the multi-shot rocket launcher. Plus you also have the fire, which will give you a bit more kills as well. In this column, you can go either Deep Pockets, Wheatgrass, or the Tier 2 shotgun. Tier 2 shotgun, as mentioned, is really strong right now, so it is a pretty good gun to start with. So it's kind of up to you here. Fire is important for Claymores, because after the explosion, the fire will still be able to cover the area for a period of time, so this is something that you definitely need. For this one, you can go the temp health of masking. Usually if I'm playing with a squad, I'll go with temp health. If I'm soloing, I'll go with masking. And then for the 7th column, third hand is the optimal perk here, just so you can reload your weapon instantly. This increases your DPS with your primary weapon, and the 15 kills in rapid succession can also be accumulated with, say, the claymores as well. So you have your DPS through primary is with third hand perk. Your TPS with heavy will be the Big Bang perk, where your multi-shot rocket launcher is improved, and then with your equipment, claymores, the double explosion, and having more claymores that regenerate very quickly, you also can use that to cover many choke points, and you can also place them on pyramids to clear them quickly and efficiently as well. So Claymore Exterminator is really strong. You can also have a look at the video that I have that covers it in more detail. And this is Molotov. Essentially, we have the increased firearm damage, or you can make it burn longer, but I like the fire damage so that it kills boos and juggernauts a bit faster. And then we have know-how, which allows you to kill a few more targets. It's not a lot, 25%, it's probably just a couple more. You can also go for hot sauce, so if you throw it at a boo or juggernaut, they'll die a little bit faster. Or even ghost perk, as the last man standing. If everyone goes down, at least you have like a last saving grace. And then for this column, because you're not using claymores, you can either go combat engineer, so you can do defenses, or burnout, just have the extra fire damage. Usually I just stick to combat engineer. Sometimes people see that you're using Molotovs and they'll leave defenses to you, and say having the extra grid or auto turrets can be very useful. And because you're using Molotovs, you only have 2 charges, so in this case you can still go for Pocket Factory, which means a 75 seconds cooldown, or you can go for Pickpocket, which has a 60 seconds cooldown, but requires 15 zombie kills. But with this one you can still pick up bags, so it's not a bad option. But usually if I see medics around, I usually try to leave bags for them. So in general I'd stick to Pocket Factory, but Pickpocket is definitely a viable option here. So next up is the Dronemaster class. So first off, we have the stun drone loadout. I usually go for the first perk here, which increases your charge by 15%. You can also opt for the next one, which is 30% increase in charge, but you get less ammo. But personally, I find that the 15% is more than enough, because the stun drone usually lasts for a long enough time. It doesn't really run out unless you don't kill the zombies around you. Long shot might sound decent because it increases the stun range, but you don't actually want the stun gun to be stunning zombies that's far away from you, because that will be, wasting its charge. So you just want it to stun zombies that's around you, that's that are within range of hitting you. So we don't really need this long shot. And the stim pistol is not really very impactful. In my opinion, the stun drone or the pistol drones are much better options. And for the next column, we will use Lightning Storm, which increases the stun gun's firing rate. This is not too bad, in case there's a lot of zombies surrounding you. At least the increased fire rate can help to keep the zombies in place. On the Bender is another option, but personally I don't think it's worth it. Essentially, each drone has 2 grenades, and they will drop one. So when you use the drone, if there's enemies around, the drone will drop the first grenade, and then after 30 seconds the drone will then drop the next grenade. After using 2 grenades, the drone won't drop any more grenades, and this will only be replenished once you use a new drone. Hopefully that's clear enough. But essentially you just have 2 nades for each drone. So if we are using stun, so depending on how long your drone lasts, if you're only using the stun drone, which lasts for the whole game, then you're not really benefiting from this perk. And for the third column, we go with the improved payload, because that helps to kill specials very quickly. And yeah, the rest is not that worth it on the stun drone. And then we're using Wheatgrass here because you can start with tier 2 bullpup, but personally I don't think that's necessary. You can find tier 2 weapons fairly easily, so having that one additional hit on extreme difficulty is pretty useful. So for the 5th column, there's a few options here. You can use Parting Gift, where when the drone runs out, it gives you a bit of a temp health. But this is only useful on the loud pistol drone, which runs out quickly. On the stun drone, you won't really benefit from this a lot. So you can either go for Saving Grace or Clear. So Saving Grace gives you a masking effect and kind of when you're about to go down. But the problem with this, it doesn't save you from a bomber explosion or a juggernaut that's charging through. Essentially, you can still go down if you are in the gas, if you are near a bomber that's about to explode, or basically or if a juggernaut is rushing through you. So I've been using Clear recently. I find that it's a little bit more useful. So if you do go down by the previous example, say a bomber that exploded near you, you can still revive yourself with the drone and still get a bit of temp health that allows you to soak up some more hits and reposition yourself. You do have to waste your drone though, so that's kind of like the downside of it. But it does revive you, so that's so personally I found this a little bit more useful. And for the next column, Sharing is Caring is definitely the best perk here. You can basically share your drone with another teammate. In the 7th column, all the perks are, I'd say, have their uses. Housekeeping will be useful for maps with landmines and auto turrets, like for example New York 4. But to be fair, most turrets can be destroyed at range, and most landmines can be disarmed. So you can use this if you like, but personally I would go for the others. You can go for Keep It Down. In certain maps, Screamer might spawn in this quite a distance away and you cannot get them easily. Usually in a squad that's not a big problem, but in solo runs sometimes you might be trapped in certain areas because of the incoming zombies, and then the Screamer is out of reach. This will be quite useful. But nowadays I'm just using Eye in the Sky when I'm with a squad, basically to help us mark special zombies, mainly because of silent special spawns. So having them visible and marked makes it a lot easier for us. But if you do have gunslingers in the squad, this is not really necessary. And then there's also Splasher, which helps you to get the disinfection, which works works well against the broken virus samples as well. So this is an option. But personally, yeah, so it's kind of up to you on how you want to play it. Special prize or the 15 kills to get your drone back. You can go pocket. I find that Pocket Factory's cooldown is a bit too long, 150 seconds, and you can't pick up backs as well, so that's the issue. It's better either the 15 kills or the special kills, and in that case you can still pick up supply bags if there's extras lying around. Because we are using the improved payload, it helps us kill specials quickly, so I'm using special price here, so it kind of goes hand in hand. And for the last perk, we have Not On My Watch, where friendly fire is decreased by 100%, and essentially because you can share a drone with another teammate, so the two of you will have 100% reduction in friendly fire, which is pretty good on extreme difficulty since you don't have the teammates outlined. So just in case you accidentally shoot a teammate, at least there's a chance that they have a drone to reduce the friendly fire damage. And then next we have the Silent Pistol Dronemaster setup. Essentially in this case we are using the Silent Stinger. It is slightly weaker than the Firecracker, but because it's silent, you don't go loud unnecessarily. You can match it with the Well-Trained perk if you like. Basically you can put the drone in a stationary mode, either away from HOTS so they can let it recharge, or you can put it to cover flanks, so you can cover your back while you're busy dealing with the swarm. So this is a way to go about it. Usually the Silent Pistol can last long enough for you to use Saving Grace or Clear, if shit hits the fence. But yeah, so this is generally how I like to set it up with the Silent Stinger. You can also go Firecracker, where now the drone is loud but kills very quickly. So it runs out quite quickly, and so it goes really well with Parting Gift, which gives you temporary health when the drone is depleted. And because the Firecracker drone damage is already pretty high, we don't need well-trained perk, so we can stick to the payload to deal with specials, and then the drone will be useful in picking off zombies. And in this case, we are also using Take a Load Off just to increase the charge further, just so it can last a little bit longer. Yeah, and essentially this is how the loud drone setup is. And last but not least, we have the Vanguard class, and this is a setup that I like to use when I'm playing with a squad or in pubs. And the first column, all of them are pretty decent. Personally, I prefer quick hands, so you can reload by performing a shield block. And this kind of increases your DPS a little, since you can fire more often without having to manually reload your weapon. Essentially, the gameplay of a Vanguard is shield, melee, and then fire your weapon a couple of times. And so with quick hands, you can continuously fire your weapon in between your shield, block, and melee. Yeah, essentially you're removing the reloading downtime, and it works really well with weapons like the tier 2 shotgun, where you reload ammo by ammo. So this gives you your full reload immediately. There's also Adrenaline Rush, where you block a zombie to give you melee stamina. So this is good for a melee centric build. So, and this is also an easier build to use. So if you do a shield block followed by a melee, and then you just repeat that, you're basically invulnerable, and you'll be able to deal with zigs around you. But as you can imagine, shield block and melee kills are pretty slow as a Vanguard. So you're actually dealing with zombies at a much slower rate as compared to, firing a couple of shots in between. There's fancy footwork, you can move a bit faster, but generally speaking, I don't find this necessary, because you can just block the zombies and push them away with your melee, and then just run away anyway. And then the last one is Breakthrough. Hitting an enemy with a shield charge grants you 75% temp health. In pubs, you don't usually shield charge a lot, so generally I recommend the first two, but this perk is actually quite useful in solo runs. Essentially, the extra temp health will give you an additional layer of protection, especially when you're trying to chainsaw the gate. So this can be useful in solo runs. But otherwise, in squads, I generally go for quick hands. And then for the second column, all-round defense is pretty handy. When you do a shield block, you're protected on all sides. So when you're spamming shield block and melee, it gives you kind of like the constant protection. Passive aggression allows your shield to last longer, but generally I don't think this is really necessary. Your shield by itself can really last pretty long, as long as you kind of manage your shield charges well. And then for this column, the third column, you either go for recuperation, where your shield regenerates constantly, so you are not reliant on supply bags, which is very good, and then your shield recharges while you are, or you are doing objectives, taking aggro, etc. The other good alternative is Pickpocket. Killing 15 zombies refills 1 equipment charge, and that's mainly because of the very low cooldown of 30 seconds. Whereas for recuperation, it takes 70 seconds for a single charge, whereas for Pickpocket it's only 30 seconds, and it's fairly easy to get 15 kills, considering you're always in the front line, taking aggro from a bunch of zombies. So yeah, so these two are both really good options. And then for the fourth column, we have Stronger Together. Essentially, on extreme difficulty, this gives you, on PC, this gives you 1 extra hit. So any other teammates who are using, say any other classes, say for example Exterminator, and if they are not using Wheatgrass, they usually take 3 hits to go down, but because now they are under the effect of Stronger Together, so they also gain additional 1 more hit before they go down. So this is actually a very good team perk. Yeah, and then we are using special coating, so just in case you need to use shield charge to revive someone, coupling with this red on your feet perk, you can then use they will also gain a temp health, because passing them with the shield charge as well. So this gives them an additional layer of protection while they are getting revived. And for this perk, this column, we are going with bad order. So because you're taking aggro from zombies and specials, if you kill them, there's a chance that they drop primary weapons, which will be beneficial for the team as well. If you drop an assault shotgun for a gunslinger early on, then you guys will have an easier time dealing with the swarms. In this column, inspirational, killing 15 zombies will respawn if you're the last man standing, will respawn a random teammate that's dead. So this is very useful, just in case shit hits the fans. As a Vanguard, you're usually the last man standing, so having this perk is always handy, just in case things are too messy. And in the 8th column, we are using Center of Attention. So when you activate the shield, you are taking aggro for all zombies within 3 meters in front of you. So basically they will look at you. It's similar to a flare gun distraction, where the zombies will just stand there and kind of look around. So this is essentially like a mobile flare gun that you have, that you can activate as whenever you pull up your shield. So this is the best perk among this column, and it's something that you can always use to save teammates who are getting pinned as well. And then for the last column, we are using You Make Me Mad. So essentially when you bring up your shield, and if you were to melee, which keeps your shield, you'll get the 50% damage boost. This allows PC players to one-shot zombies with heavy melee, and that's why we usually match Vanguard with the heavy melee weapon, either the hammer or the sword. And this also increases your firearm damage as well, to allow you to clear pyramids much faster. So this is definitely one of the better options here. And so that's basically a squad setup. In a solo run, sometimes this is what I use. As mentioned, you can use this shield charge to grant you temp health, and then pickpocket, because I'm killing all the zombies myself, so I can replenish my shield much faster. And because of this, I can also pick up bags in case I need it. I find that chainsaw is quite handy. Sometimes I'll go for Juggernaut, but depending on whether or not I need to clear gates quickly, you have the option of chainsaws for that as well. Though you can do shield melee on the pyramids to clear them fairly quickly. So that's the other option. So you don't necessarily need the chainsaw, but it's always good to have. Yeah, and because I'm soloing, I won't be passing teammates, or I can use rolling refuel. So you shield charge across ammo crate to refuel ammo. You can use Shake It Off as well to remove infector spit. Though you can disinfect with armor plated, but just in case you interacted with an ammo crate, the next thing you can do is to use your shield charge to remove the infection, and then also give you temp health while you're doing it. So that that's like some ways you can go around it. But yeah, the idea is the same, but that's just another way of playing. Yeah, so I hope this helps. So essentially this is the perks that I generally use with all the different classes. Hopefully it gives you a better understanding of how they work. I have some in-depth video guides for some of the classes. So Gunslinger, Hellraiser, Medic, Slasher, and Exterminator. And I have one for Vanguard, which is a little bit older, but it still kind of works. And I don't have a video for Fixer and Dronemaster at the moment, but their perks are generally quite straightforward, and hopefully this video kind of explains to you how some of the perk works and why I'm selecting certain configuration. So I hope it helps, and I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you for watching.